One thing I love about the Saudis is they don't bullshit around when it comes to making their fights. We just heard less than 2 days ago that the Vergil Ortiz versus Boots in this fight fell apart, and now look, they already have another fighter in place. However, as you can see, Vergil Ortiz is now supposed to be officially taking on Israil Madrimov February the 22nd in Saudi Arabia on this last crescendo card, one of the best cards put together I've probably seen in my lifetime, top to bottom. And we're talking about not prospects where you go back and look, oh, such and such fought in this card back then. You know, I'm talking about fighters in their primes fighting each other, or in the case of Callum Smith, a little bit past his prime. Anyway, on TstreeT Controversy with Fight View 360, we got Beterbiev versus Bivol 2, Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker, Shakur Stevenson versus Floyd Schofield, Carlos Adames versus Hamzah Sheeraz, Vergil Ortiz Jr. versus Israil Madrimov, Big Bang CCP Zhilei Zhang versus Agit Kabayel, Joshua Buatsi versus Callum Smith, a fight that I felt should have happened a while ago, and also Joshua Buatsi got to do something. I like the Callum Smith fight. Well, let's start here. Israil Madrimov first has to defeat Sergey Bohachuk on the undercard of Usyk versus Fury 2. That's what it should be. In Saudi Arabia, December the 21st. As you can see, Moses Atama, Dempsey McKean, Johnny Fisher, Dave Allen, Dennis McCann, Peter McGrail, Isaac Lowe, Lee McGregor. That fight's in 19 days. Now, Madrimov is good, and if Madrimov goes on to beat Bohachuk, then go on to beat Vergil Ortiz, and believe me, I said it like, I'm going to say it again like I said with Terrence Crawford, Israil Madrimov is a very good fighter. Don't let his resume fool you. As you can see against Terrence Crawford. Now, a lot of people taking that Terrence Crawford fight and looking at Terrence Crawford like, yo, you know, like you slipping. But even Bomac, leading up to the fight, he had concerns about Israil Madrimov and that they had to box. Madrimov ain't no joke. So he should be able to beat Bohachuk, but you know, Bohachuk is riding high right now, and a lot of people think that he beat Vergil Ortiz. I don't. I think that Vergil Ortiz just got enough to win, and it was his first full official fight at 154 pounds. The other two fights between Frederick Lawson and I forgot who else. Oh, motherfucking Thomas Dulorme. That took place above 154 and basically Canelo weight at 155 and above. So here's the thing, though. You know, you have to feel disrespected if you're Bohachuk, because you're thinking to yourself like, well, damn, you know, you just straight looking past me. And you know, here we go. So rumors were going about earlier that there were several offers that Vergil Ortiz and the Saudis were entertaining, even if I were Landy Lara, where I did a video jumping the gun. But in reality, that was a video I always wanted to do on Landy Lara. I really want to talk more about him and what he's been doing than anything else. So as you can see, he's not fighting Landy Lara, and he actually sent a message or posted a message, basically a backhanded compliment to where is it at? Xander Zayas. So Xander posted, I accepted the fight but never heard back. Did you just boosted me? We were all in. This is what he says. Xander, you seem like a good, I guess he wanted to say good kid. Don't act like some of these people on here. The truth is they called and asked if Junior, this is Vergil Ortiz Sr., if Junior would fight you. It was an easy yes. They also called for other guys. You were the least accomplished, so by their standards, and that there is spelled wrong, whatever, you were not qualified as top rank. Sheesh. And it makes sense. Would you rather see, and here's the thing, I would rather see Israil Madrimov versus Xander Zayas. But the Xander Zayas fight, it was intriguing, I do admit that. I wanted the Landy Lara fight, but it looks like that's not going to happen. By the way, Landy Lara is linked to fight on a boxer show against Chris Eubank Jr., while Conor Benn is being linked to Mario Barrios. Manny Pacquiao's still trying to fight Mario Barrios at fucking 46 years old. But let's break down this card real quick. So, Joshua Buatsi, I will not be surprised if Callum Smith beat him. I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I am not high on Joshua Buatsi. I just don't see it. By the way, he had a chance to fight Dmitry Bivol and turn it down. I just don't see it. 19-0 with 13 KOs, 31 years old. Basically with life and death according to the cards. I think he won the fight against Willie Hutchinson. I don't know what that 112, 113 card is, but for the most part, I think he won. And if you look, Dan Aziz, Pawal, Craig Richards, ain't nothing there. Now, Callum Smith, however, he's been having some, activity issues, 30-2 with 22 KOs, 34 years old. You can say that he's really at the end of his prime. And do not be surprised if he loses, if he retires after this fight. I think he can beat Buatsi, but what Callum Smith is going to show up. You see what I'm saying? He got stopped by Artur Beterbiev, and his only other loss was Canelo. Canelo beat his arm up. But for the most part, as you can see, he did have a 2-fight 2024, 1 fight 2022, 1 fight 2021, 1 fight 2020, which was Canelo. So some inactivity there. But he has a huge size advantage. And if he uses his size and boxes, and I think he can win. Who else we got here? Zhang versus Agit Kabayel. Now, I'm not sure why he's been on such a long layoff, and I mean Kabayel. He's been linked to several other fights, including Martin Bakoli. And by the way, this is supposed to be for the WBC interim title at heavyweight. So, there's that too. By the way, here's Big Bang Zhang, his first fight after destroying Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's still kicking around, by the way. 27-2-1. He beat Deontay Wilder. He had 2 fights this year. Okay. So between 2023, when he beat Joe Joyce, September, to June 2024, that's pretty active. Look at that. Win or loss. Joe Joyce, Joe Parker, Deontay Wilder. And now look, even though actually it's still not that far off. What is that? 8 months later, he's going to be fighting Agit Kabayel. But Kabayel, as you can see, he hasn't fought since Frank Sanchez. Oh, no, wait, I'm tripping. My bad, I'm tripping. I covered both of these fights. Why did I think? I'm sorry, God. I'm getting back in the mix. I was thinking that he didn't fight since he put a boot in Makhmudov's ass, but he beat up Frank Sanchez, and I got the video on the channel. My memory's shit. 25-0 with 17 KOs. Very good fight. Now, how is this the WBC title shot? Let me check real quick at the rankings. Let me check real quick. Well, then there you go. Martin Bakoli is trying to be the next IBF mandatory. Ew. You got Mahmoud Char taking on Kubrat Pulev. That's coming up. What date is that? Ew. Let's check Dan Rayfield's schedule. No bullshit. Like, that fight is coming up, and they're going to be the mandatory at some point in time for the heavyweight championship of the world. Where is that? It's coming up. It's coming up. There it is. It's this weekend. I'm going to be watching it. I'm going to cover this shit. For the WBA regular title. That's going to be this weekend on the Zone. Ew. Nasty. So, if I was to pick, I would pick Zhilei Zhang. Agit Kabayel, don't get me wrong. He showed me he got the moxie. He can really fight. But I still haven't seen enough yet. Even though Big Bang Zhilei Zhang is, 42 years old, 41? But in heavyweight boxing, that's not old these days. I mean, you're in the very, as Big J would say, the ass end of your prime. That's it for you at 41 years old. But it's not old. It's like you shouldn't be fighting anymore. Especially given the way he's been fighting in his recent performances. Carlos Adames versus Hamzah Sheeraz. Carlos Adames has been looking for a big fight, and now he's finally getting it. I got Hamzah Sheeraz probably by stoppage. Carlos Adames, let me see here. Let me pull his resume up. He's been dealing with inactivity too. But it's taboo to talk about for some reason that PBC fighters be dealing with this type of inactivity. 24-1 with 18 KOs, Dominican. He fought Terrell Goucher. Ew. I don't even know how Terrell Goucher got this shot, to be very honest with you. That was in June of this year. What was that? That was the Tank undercard, right? Yeah, Tank Frank Martin. Uh, J. Rock Williams, ew. Juan Montiel, ew. You may remember he touched up Jamal Charlo before Jamal Charlo went on that long layoff. Sergey Deredyachenko, but that was 2021. So if you look at what he's done over the last 3 years, Montiel, J. Rock Williams, what like J. Rock Williams been cooked for some time. Terrell Goucher, ew. So of course I'm favoring Hamzah Sheeraz. And shockingly, Adames is only 30. I don't know why I thought he was older than that. Let me see his resume. So he fought 3 times in 2021. Okay. 1 in 2022, 1 in 2023, 1 in 2024. Well, I'm glad he's getting the Saudi payday. Now, this fight, let me tell you something. I haven't been keeping up with the Floyd Schofield drama. Now, remember, Shakur Stevenson was supposed to fight Joe Cordina, but Shakur Stevenson had an injury, so they had to postpone it. So now they got Floyd Schofield on there. Basically, he to me, he's a fringe contender. Prospect, but on a high prospect fringe contender. So this is a huge step up for him. And some people can argue that the way he looked in his last fight, and I watched it even though I didn't cover it, the way he looked in his last fight, it's like, yo, get him this payday now because he might lose to some journeyman. He was going life and death with this dude, Rene Garan. And wasn't it another fight he didn't look too promising either? So I like this move for him, as they say, dare to be great. And then what does he have to lose? Because, he loses to Shakur Stevenson. It can be a learning experience for him. He's still got plenty of time. And as I don't think that Shakur Stevenson is going to knock him out or anything. By the way, when was the last time Stevenson fought? Yeah. And this stinker. He's been under PR scrutiny too. Fans been cooking him, but hopefully, this Floyd Schofield fight pushes him back up to getting talked about with a possible Tank Davis fight, which I'm still holding out hope for that it's going to happen. Then of course the rematch, Beterbiev versus Bivol. I thought that Bivol did enough, but I can see how people gave it to Beterbiev. And as we seen going late, Bivol don't have nothing for Beterbiev, and do not be surprised if Bivol gets stopped this time. So that's going to be on February the 22nd. This pay-per-view is likely going to be about $40. Don't be surprised if the Saudis make it $20, but it's probably going to be $40. That's what their pay-per-views have been going by. For example, Fury Usyk 2, or Usyk Fury 2. I don't know why it's billed as Fury Usyk 2. This is $40 on December the 21st. So look at their 2 cards. I posted on social media. I know fans are weary of the Saudis' involvement with boxing. And especially since they are trying to make Saudi Arabia the home of boxing. Now, for example, to get from Philadelphia, where I'm at, to Saudi Arabia, that's like an 18-hour trip. I'm talking about some flight. Layover, whatever. A travel time, imagine you got to get to the airport, TSA, all that stuff. You're traveling for a day just to get there, So 2 days of travel up and back, 48 hours, give or take. By the time you get there, you're going to be exhausted. So I don't know how they're going to combat that. They have this a project called Initiative 2030 where they're trying to become the new Las Vegas, the sporting hub of the world. As you can see, they got their hands dipped in WWE, UFC, tennis, golf. And of course, they made it clear that they're after the whole sport of boxing. For example, they pretty much own the heavyweight division. You have to go through them to get a heavyweight fight. The cruiserweight, they pretty much own that division. They've been after 154. What other division they got on lock? 160? They're trying to lock up. They locked up the Ring Magazine. They're in cahoots with the WBC and the WBA. So far, not the WBO or the IBF that I can see. They're getting PBC fighters. PBC is reluctant to go under to the Saudis. But listen, they're trying. And look, they got Top Rank in cahoots. They got Frank Warren in cahoots. They got Matchroom in cahoots. I think that they even own The Zone. The Zone all of a sudden is back to $10, $11 a month now. At least that's what I'm paying for it. So something to watch out for, but two amazing cards right here. And despite what you may think of them, you got to pull your head out your ass. Like, if you're not flying to the fights, who cares on where it's at? Look at this card. One issue I have with their cards is they're too long. Sometimes you'll be here like 9 hours. And then it's like, by the time we get to this, around this area, I don't want to see a concert. I'm trying to go get some pussy. You see what I'm saying? I'm getting untethered around this time. You know, their cards just start like noon. And you watch it until 8 o'clock. Like, you know? Like, no bullshit. No bullshit. And remember, these are all 12-round fights. And then you got prelims. You know, and then they give you some concerts, some dance numbers, and then the zone with all of their filler. Crazy. But yeah, watch out for Vergil Ortiz versus Israil Madrimov, because that fight may not happen if Bohachuk wins. We could get Ortiz Jr. versus Bohachuk. I think they should have billed it as the winner of Madrimov. Like, they could have put Bohachuk right here, and you know, Vergil Ortiz gets, you know, that. Because I think this is kind of disrespectful. But we gonna see. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at TstreeT Controversy. Where's my Twitter ass? Right here. The link is down below in the description box. And as you can see, we're back full time. I want to see this fight. Chris Cyborg versus Clarissa Shields. Thank you. See you guys later.